Motivation. Let's see what we got.
You gotta want it more than you wanna breathe.
This. So it's me again, everyone. Good to see you again. So just to say first off, there is a place for those fearless motivation videos, and I'd be a hypocrite if I said there wasn't. They're things I've watched before, and you know what, at times I've found them really inspiring and they've really helped me out when I've been in a few places in my life, so I would be a hypocrite to say that. But the point of this video is more just to try and give you some practical advice about getting a bit fitter and active. And I think sometimes the advice and the videos we watch for motivation can be a bit over the top. And they're from people who are world champions in their sport, they're from people who are, captains of industry, and maybe they're a little bit over the top for just, for want of a better word, like a normal person. So I'm quite an active person, I have an active job, and I'd say I'm pretty fit compared to a normal person as well. I'm not a crusher at anything. I'm a pretty good runner, I'm pretty good at boxing and kickboxing, I do judo now as well, and my fitness is good for sure. But I am a normal person, I do have a job. So I just wanted to give you a few tips if you're someone who is, maybe not wanting to be a world champion and stuff, but you just want to get a bit more fit and active, and you don't know where to start, and maybe you've tried it before, and you've started something for a little while and then you've stopped. And there's a few things I see people doing, and I don't think they're great ideas. I think they can be a bit of a mistake. And so I just want to kind of go into what those few things are. So what are those few things? So one of them for me would be start off slowly, okay? And we'll come to that. One of them would be try and actually find something you enjoy doing. There's so much to be said for enjoyment. And we see all these videos about just putting the work in, putting the grind in, but God forbid, if you're doing a sport you actually enjoy, it's so much easier to turn up to your training sessions every week. And then another one would just be a few little tips about stacking the odds in your favour. So what I'm actually trying to say is try and make it as easy for yourself as possible to be active. It's hard enough as it is to be active, clearly, which is why you're hopefully watching this video. So make it as easy for yourself as possible. So those are the three things I just want to kind of talk about. So start off slow. We love a good story, don't we? We all love a good story. We've all seen the stories on YouTube of the people who change their life overnight. So 1 minute they're overweight, they're really out of shape, they really just have this strong desire to change, and they switch overnight and they go to the gym every day from then on. And we see this video where a year later they're in incredible shape, they look phenomenal, and they're still keeping it up, okay? At the point the video is made. And I'm sure it happens, I'm sure some of them do fall off after that and they go back to being overweight. But what I'm trying to say is that overnight change is hard. Making change in your life is hard. So, you know, we talk about lifestyle changes, we talk about small steps, and I do think they're important to do. So, to start off with, you know, there would be nothing wrong with the first year, because remember, you're planning on doing this hopefully for the rest of your life. So for the first year, there'd be nothing wrong with just doing a workout once a week. If you've been completely inactive, that would be great. Imagine it, if you did 1 hour a week of exercise for the rest of your life, and up till now you've done no activity, you would be a much fitter person in 10 years, okay? You've got a long period of time to do this over, so take it slowly. The other good thing about that is, if you try and do it every day, it's going to be exhausting. You're going to get tired, especially if you're not used to working out, and that is going to dip your motivation. And it's going to be a grind, and it's going to be real hard work. And if you can push through that, that is awesome. Props to you. But I think actually starting out a bit slow is great. I had a friend who recently started biking, and he messaged me and he said, "Oh, I'm absolutely loving getting out biking. Every time I go out, I come back and I feel buzzing and I want to do more. What should I do?" And I actually said to him, don't do any more, because it's amazing. If you can have that feeling of being buzzing after every session, you're going to want to go back out on your bike. So I'm not saying, don't up it slowly. Maybe you could go out once a week for a couple of months, and if you're really feeling like, week on week on week, like you want to do more, maybe then do a bit more. But just take it slow and be cautious. It's a bit like those yo-yo diets that you see so many people do. They go on a diet for a couple of months, they lose absolutely tons of weight, and then they just go back to their old ways. It's the same thing with exercise. If you go to the gym every day for 2 months, you're going to be fit, but you're not going to be that fit, okay? It's going to take a long time to develop proper fitness. So it would be better for you if you went to the gym twice a week for the rest of your life. That's what we want, isn't it? That's the kind of goal, is to keep it up. So I think take it slow. Now, there is something to be said to grinding through a little bit. You're not going to enjoy every time you go to the gym. You're not going to enjoy every class you do. So you are going to have to keep going through a few of them. So this is actually kind of like a sub tip, but another one would be quit after a good session. So if you're having a period where you're not enjoying it so much with your sport or whatever you found, keep going for a while. And if you start, if it's 3 months down the line and you're still not enjoying it, maybe then it's time to quit. But if you, after a couple of sessions, you come back and you start really enjoying it again, and that's probably likely, it's happened to me constantly with all the different sports I do, then, after you've had a good session, then if you think, I really enjoyed that session, but I'm still not sure this is the right thing for me, then maybe it's time to change what you're doing. But quit after a good session and just take it slowly and build it up. So point number 2 was, I think, try and have fun. Now, again, who do you want to be? Do you want to be a world champion? I will tell you the list of sports I've done in my life. I've done skateboarding, which I was terrible at, BMXing, which I was a little bit better at, rollerblading, kung fu, kickboxing, MMA, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, judo. Obviously all of them are kind of under the martial arts umbrella. Muay Thai. Then I switched to outdoor sports, rock climbing, hiking. I've done loads of different things, and recently I've started going back to martial arts, and I've started doing judo as well, just to change it up a bit. And you know what? Would I be better at the sports I do if I'd have stuck with one of them? Yeah, of course I would. But the thing is, they had lost interest to me. So maybe I'd have carried on trying to do that sport. And again, I'm not talking about I had one bad session and I quit. Over a period of time, the love for those sports faded. But what's actually happened is, from the age of about 16 till now, I'm 32 now, I had a short break when I got my first adult job and I got a bit lazy and I stopped working out. But throughout that period of time, most of the time I've been an active person. And part of that is because I keep changing what I do and it keeps it fresh and I enjoy it. In the summer, I love being out in the mountains. In the winter, it's a bit harder to get out for a run. Obviously at the moment I can't do my martial arts because of the pandemic, but in the winter I'm more tempted to go and do martial arts in a warm gym. And there's nothing wrong with that. I really enjoy doing a variety of things. And again, what's your goal? Because your goal is to be active and fit. If you try out a different sport every week for the rest of your life, yet again, you'd probably become a pretty fit person. In fact, doing a variety of sports could be quite good for you physically, because doing the same sport over and over again is very common to get overuse injuries. So trying out different things and trying to find something you really love doing. Judo, I mean, I've had periods again where I've enjoyed it more or less, but I've had some periods where it's been absolutely amazing and it's given me a real buzz that I'm learning a new martial art that I'm not good at, that I can transfer some of my skills from my other martial art across to, but I'm not good at it and I feel like I'm really learning loads again, and I love that. Rock climbing, oh my god, you know, solving a puzzle, figuring out how to do all the moves so you can make it to the top of the wall. It was so exciting and fresh. And at the moment, I've not been going indoor climbing. Okay, and that's for a few reasons. Part of it's to do with, you know, losing some key climbing partners because they've had children and we've not been able to organise going climbing together. But when I enjoy the things I'm doing, when I actually enjoy going out, I'm active. Okay, I recently did a running program and I was really enjoying it at the start, and I've made some real great progress in my running, but after 10 weeks of that rigid structure, I was done with it. I'd had enough. And again, my goal isn't to become a world champion, so you know what, I stopped it, I knocked it on the head, even though it was meant to be a 16-week program, and I've been going on my punch bag that I got for Christmas way more. Been out in the garage loads, so guess what, I'm still in shape and I'm still active and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So that really is my message. Try and find something you enjoy. And again, you're not going to enjoy every session, but especially when a sport's new, you probably should enjoy it for the first couple of sessions. Otherwise, I'd say it might be a bad sign that it's not the sport for you. It drives me mad that people's solution to getting fit is to go to the gym, okay? There are so many sports out there in the world, and there is nothing wrong with taking them up as an adult. You could do horse riding, you could do hockey, you could do rock climbing, you could do kickboxing. I mean, I'm not going to do a list. The list is infinite. But if you actually found something you enjoyed, how much more likely would you be to succeed at getting fit doing it? Going to the gym is a great way if you love going to the gym. I've only ever done really short periods at the gym because actually I don't enjoy the gym that much. I do some pull-ups and stuff at home. I've got a bit of a workout area in my garage near my punch bag, but I'm not a big fan of weightlifting. I never have been. I've done maybe a few periods of my life where I've done it for, you know, half a year at most, I just thought. But it's just not something I enjoy. But guess what? Rock climbing has got me much stronger, and I love rock climbing. So just be creative, give it a go, have a look at different things, go rollerblading, try and find something you enjoy doing and you can get fit doing it. If your goal is just to be active, I mean, if you want to look like a bodybuilder, you probably need to take up bodybuilding. But for most of us, we just want to lose a bit of weight, we want to feel a bit healthier, we want to feel better about ourselves. So try and find something you love and you will be more likely to do well at it. Okay, so that brings me on to tip number 3, if I can remember what tip number 3 was. Tip number 3 was just going to be some little things about trying to make it as easy for yourself as possible. So stacking the odds in your favour. So, you know, try and learn about yourself, try and learn about what your habits are. So I'm quite an early bird, but I don't like getting up super early. So I've stopped doing it recently because of the pandemic, but I used to go for a run every Thursday with my manager and a friend, Lee. So we go for that run. Some other people have started joining us for that run, and you know, a couple of things. There's a bit of peer pressure. It seems crazy. He's a close friend of mine and it doesn't actually matter, but the fact that if I don't go for that run, I've got to send him a message telling him why I'm not going for that run, that does keep me on track. It does mean that I'm more likely to show up for that run at 7 in the morning. And what's wrong with that? We all say peer pressure is a bad thing. Peer pressure is a bad thing if it's getting you to do something that's bad. But this is peer pressure that's helping me stay active and healthy. So it's not a bad thing at all. It is early in the morning. So the last thing I need when I wake up is to be having to think about what clothes do I want to wear, what food do I want to have, is everything ready for work, etc, etc. Because when it's that early, I struggle to get up. So, you know, I'll get up at 6, so it's only half an hour earlier than my normal get up time when I'm going for that run. Again, not at the moment because of the pandemic. But I make sure everything is ready. My running clothes are literally ready next to my bed. All my stuff is often in my car, all my things for work, all my clothes. The coffee's in the coffee machine, ready for the on button to be pushed, so it will make my coffee. My food for my breakfast or like my little pre-run snack will be next to the coffee machine. My travel mug will be there. everything's sorted. I don't want to have to think about it in the morning. So knowing that about myself is good. It helps me get out there. It helps me get ready. So, you know, if you're not a morning person at all, don't work out in the morning. If you are a morning person, give it a go. If it's the only time of the day you can fit it in, try and find a way to make it work. But just doing those little things can really help you out. Another little trick is actually to do with what you're wearing. So it's amazing how when you put on your exercise clothes, you start feeling like you want to exercise. So sometimes if you want to work out, so people always do this, and we all know that this can happen. You can come home and you sit down on the sofa after work and you're not going to do your exercise. You're not going to get back out. You're not going to do what you want to do. So ways that you could make it so that when you get home you're more likely to go out. I know this sounds crazy to do, but you could take your exercise clothes to work with you, put them on straight after work, drive home, and then you might be more likely to get straight out the door for that run or whatever you want to do. Yeah, it's a simple little thing. Don't come home. Do it on the way back from work, okay? Just try and use whatever you can to help make it feel as easy for you as possible. For a lot of people, the social side of things is important, okay? So trying to find people to go for a run with, trying to find people to go to the gym with, that is a great thing. Climbing for me, I had one guy that I climbed with all the time, and that was obviously a massive part of it. We get on extremely well, we had similar goals in climbing, and it really kept me on track, it kept me motivated. He's had a baby, and so he's changed his schedule of when he climbs a bit slightly earlier, and it's meant I've not been able to climb with him. I've not really found anyone else to climb with, and I've started doing other sports again, my martial arts, and so my kind of love for it's gone. But every week when I was doing it, being able to go and meet him and having someone there to meet and enjoying that session, working hard together, really made it a lot easier for me. So those are just a few ideas of things you could do, but what I'm trying to say is take it a bit more easy on yourself, okay? You don't need to necessarily grind through every workout. You don't need to be working out every day. It depends what are your goals. Like I said, I work out 3 or 4 times a week, and a lot of people would consider me very fit. So that's obviously enough. And yes, my job is active, so I get a lot of activity in that. But what I'm trying to say is you don't need to go crazy. Take it a bit easier on yourself. Try and find something you love doing and take it slow to start off with. Just do it once a week. Even if you feel like you're itching to do it more than that, just do it once a week for the first couple of months. And if after that you think, yeah, I really do want to start doing it more, do it more, but get yourself into a routine and a habit. If Monday's always judo day, you're going to go to judo on Monday, okay? So those are just my few basic tips, and just something hopefully a bit more down to earth than, you know, just work harder, just get it done. So hopefully that helps some people out. Hopefully that resonates with you, and I really hope you find an activity you love and you get a bit more healthy, active and happy doing it. So give it a go, and if you like the video, click the button. And if you want to subscribe, it's a new channel, so there's not going to be a lot of content, but I'm working on it. So hit subscribe if you want to see what I'm working on next. Thank you.